Welcome back into today's video, September month-ahead forecast today, looking at the month ahead. Also have a quick review on what happened in August. Very surprising developments through last month. We'll have a look at that as well. But before I get on with that, I just want to say about the ads. There's a video ad on this page. If you hit play on video ad, you'll be able to support GazWeatherVids.com. Thanks so much to Jim. In fact, video ads are on all the pages at GazWeatherVids.com. So if you could hit play and see what the video ad is about, you'll be able to support GazWeatherVids. Thanks so much for doing that. So the August forecast wasn't very good last month. The forecast was for a warmer than average month with rainfall around average or a little bit above. The rainfall side of things wasn't too bad. It was quite an unsettled month. I think most places coming out with above average rainfall. Probably a little bit wetter actually when I thought. I was erring on the side of around average to a little bit wetter, but I think most places coming away with a wetter than average month. But the temperature forecast was very poor. Now, in defence of this, most forecasters, I don't think there's any forecaster actually, predicted a cooler than average August. We had a significantly cooler than average month. This is the Central England temperature from Hadley, just with the evidence really of how cool it was during August. The Central England temperature has been confirmed this morning for August at 14.9, and we have to go right way back to here. Where are we here? 14.6 in 1993, 21 years ago, for an August that was as cool or cooler than this year. So a very substantially and significantly cool month. Surprisingly cool as well. No forecaster really predicted this, including GazWeatherVids. We have had a long trend of warmer than average months starting from December 2013 going throughout the whole of 2014. It ended in August. The longer range seasonal models did not see this the end to this warmth when I did the update last month. That very often happens with these long range models. They're very good, or they're quite good when you're within an existing pattern, but when you get the change from one pattern to another, they're not as good, and it was a bit of a failure, I think, last month. Certainly not the hottest August in the CET record, which is over 300 years, as you may have read about in the papers at the start of last month. So not a very good forecast, but let's have a look at what's going on as we move through into September. We're going to start off with the CFS V2 model. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly chart for September, showing that the model is predicting a nice area of above average heights, really 500 millibars to be dominating much of the month. So that's an area of high pressure signalled to be around the UK quite often through the month. This, of course, is an anomaly for the month, so there'll be deviations from this. It certainly isn't something you're going to have every single day of the month. High pressure dominating, there will be deviations, but overall, once the pattern is averaged out, that is what the model is seeing for the coming month. So as we move through to the temperature forecast, and this is where I've got problems really, because after what's happened in August, we've got to ask ourselves, is August just a one-off in a very warm overall period, or have we changed significantly to a much colder or cooler period that's going to now take us through probably the remainder of the year? That's going to be the question really that we're going to answer for August, and also it'll be the case for October, November and December as well. The temperature forecast from the CFS version 2 model is coming out around average. Surprisingly really, we've had an area above average heights dominate month. You would expect a warmer than average month, but it's seeing near normal temperatures really, a little bit warm perhaps for northwestern Scotland. That could be because it's seeing some cooler minimum values, cooler overnight temperatures sort of offset warmer days. Not surprisingly, a drier than average month is being signalled here across just about the whole of Europe, British Isles included, with that vast area of above average heights. Have to go down to the southeast of Europe to find the wetter anomalies there. So it's seeing a mainly anticyclonic month, much drier than average, with temperatures coming out somewhere near to normal. How this breaks down in terms of a weekly scenario for the coming month, this is the 500 millibar height anomaly chart broken down into a week's period from the 31st of August to the 6th of September. Show map of the first few days of August, the model above average heights, high pressure to be really quite dominant through the course of the coming week. We go through to the second week period, taking us from the 7th to the 13th, and again the idea, 7th to 13th September, again the idea is the high pressure is very dominant here. British Isles actually becoming centred a little bit more to the north, could allow some showery conditions perhaps to start pushing up into the south later in the period, but overall it is a high pressure dominated signal through the first half of September. Now, as we move through to the third week period, taking us from the 14th to the 20th, it's seeing a bit of a change then. We've still got the above average height centred around Iceland, but it's seeing much more of an influence of a trough coming up from the south and the southwest. So that could turn it properly unsettled, particularly for England and Wales. Could get some quite heavy bouts of rain, maybe even thundery rain moving in with that one. So it is seeing a change to more unsettled conditions in the second half of the month. And then as we move through to the final period, which takes from the 21st to the 27th of September, so almost up to the end of the month, it's seeing that the high pressure becomes centred more out to the west of the country. Then got near normal heights around British Isles, below average over Greenland. Jet stream is probably going something. So generally we're re-establishing a westerly flow, I think, through this period. Not desperately unsettled, because we've got an area of above average heights just to the west, so it does protect us somewhat, but probably seeing winds going more westerly or northwesterly, and probably bringing back Atlantic weather fronts at times. So I think the overall picture from the model is that it's seeing a decent enough first half to September with high pressure quite dominant. Going through to the second half of September, it's seeing a change to a more unsettled pattern, probably quite wet in the south through the third week, and then a more westerly sort of flow through the final week. The Beijing Climate Centre, 500 millibar height anomalies for September. This is the height anomaly for the month. Shows again we've got above average height sitting out to the east of the country, and just extending in really into the British Isles. So overall, the big picture for the month, it's seeing quite a dominant sort of area of above average heights. But if you break this down into 10-day periods, this first 10-day period taking us from the 1st to the 10th, you see that again model is going for a change through the month. So the first 10-day period sees that high pressure very dominant, the above average heights very dominant through the British Isles, extending back into Scandinavia. So straightforwardly, it's mainly dry and fine through the first 10 days. Then we get through to the second 10-day period, goes from the 11th to the 20th. We see that change beginning to come in. We start to get below average heights pushing in off the Atlantic. The above average heights is starting to recede back really into the east of Europe. So the middle 10 days of the month suggest that overall we start to see a gradual change to more unsettled conditions. We get through to the final 10 days, the 21st to the 30th of September, and then we've got a trough of below average heights around the British Isles. The above average heights has sunk down into the southeast of Europe, somewhere around Greece and the Black Sea. So it's seeing this change taking place through the month, but we start off with a lot of high pressure and gradually break it down to a more unsettled pattern through the course of the month, very much in line with CFS. The way they get there is probably a little bit different, but the overall pattern between the Beijing Climate Centre and the CFS is quite similar. The temperature anomaly for the month from the Beijing Climate Centre is coming out warmer than average in those orange colours, so on the warmer side of average, and the precipitation anomaly is coming out average to actually a little bit above, quite surprisingly, that given that the first 10 days is very dominated by high pressure. Nevertheless, it seems sort of average rainfall, borderline above average, particularly perhaps to the north of the country. So it's a tricky old month to pin down this September, because we've had this change in August to a much cooler pattern than we've been used to through the year, and the models are also seeing a change through the month. We start off with the above average heights with very warm or warm and dry conditions, and a breakdown takes place. So I'm a bit on the fence about this September, to be honest. My suspicion, and this is going to be the forecast, is that we're going to come away with average temperatures and average rainfall. So I don't think we're going to be deviating too far from the norm once you average it all out for the month. But That's offset, of course, by a warm and dry start, and probably a more unsettled sort of second half and cooler second half. So averaging it all out, the September forecast for DansWeatherVids.com is for average temperatures through the month and average rainfall. That's it for now. We'll see how it goes. As ever, we'll review when we get to October. We'll review the forecast. So we'll see how this one develops. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.